If you're reading these words right now, it's not by accident. If this message appeared in your feed, if someone sent it to you, if you stumbled upon it while searching for something else, none of that is coincidence. You were meant to find this. You were guided here. And deep in your soul, in that quiet place beneath all the noise and chatter of your mind, you already know why. You're different. You've always been different. And you've always known it. While others seem content with the surface level of life, you've always sensed there's something more. While others accept the reality they're handed, you've always questioned it. While others sleep through their existence, you've been waking up, gradually, painfully, beautifully, to a truth that most people will never perceive. You are one of the awakened ones, and this message is specifically encoded for you, not for everyone, not for the masses, not for those who are still deeply asleep. This message will resonate with you on a frequency that others simply cannot access. They'll read these words and feel nothing. They'll dismiss it, ignore it, or mock it. But you'll feel something stirring, something recognizing, something that whispers, yes, this is truth. If you feel that stirring right now, if something inside you is saying, keep reading, this is important, then write in the comments, I am awakened. Because what I'm about to share with you will validate everything you've been experiencing, explain everything you've been feeling, and illuminate the path you've been searching for. The markers of the awakened. Let me describe you. Let me tell you who you are, what you've experienced, what you've felt. And if these words mirror your reality with uncanny accuracy, you'll know without a doubt that you are among the awakened. You've always felt like you don't belong here. Since childhood, you've had this persistent sense that you're somehow separate from everyone else. Not in an arrogant way, not in a better-than way, just different. Like you're from somewhere else. Like you were dropped onto this planet and everyone got the instruction manual except you. You watch people engage with life in ways that feel foreign to you. Their priorities seem strange, their values seem hollow, their certainties seem naive. You're deeply sensitive to energy. You walk into a room and immediately feel the emotional atmosphere. You can sense when someone is lying, even when their words sound convincing. You pick up on tensions that others completely miss. Crowds drain you. Negativity affects you physically. You need significant alone time to recharge because you absorb so much from your environment that you have to energetically cleanse yourself regularly. You question everything. Authority doesn't impress you just because it's authority. Tradition doesn't convince you just because that's how it's always been done. You need to understand the why beneath the what. You need to see the truth beneath the presentation. You can't just accept things at face value. This has probably gotten you labeled as difficult, rebellious, or challenging by those who prefer obedience over inquiry. You experience intense synchronicities. Meaningful coincidences follow you. You think of someone and they call. You need information and it appears. You see repeating numbers constantly, 1111, 333, 444. You have dreams that later prove prophetic. You get gut feelings that turn out to be accurate. You experience glitches in the matrix that make you question the nature of reality itself. You feel a deep sense of mission. You know you're here for a reason, even if you can't articulate what it is yet. You feel like you're supposed to do something important, contribute something meaningful, make some kind of difference. This feeling has been with you for as long as you can remember. It creates a restlessness in you, an urgency, a sense that time is running out and you need to figure out what you came here to do. You've gone through intense periods of crisis and transformation. Your life hasn't been easy. You've faced dark nights of the soul. You've been through experiences that broke you down completely. Loss, trauma, illness, betrayal, collapse. But each time, you rebuilt yourself stronger, wiser, more aligned with your truth. You realize now that those weren't random tragedies. They were initiations. They were necessary dismantlings of your false self so your true self could emerge. You can't tolerate superficiality anymore. Small talk feels excruciating. Surface-level friendships feel empty. Entertainment that used to distract you now bores you. You crave depth. You crave meaning. You crave authentic connection. You'd rather be alone than engage in interactions that feel hollow or false. You see through the illusions. You recognize that most of what society presents as real is actually constructed. You see the manipulation in media. You see the control mechanisms in systems. You see the conditioning in culture. You understand that the majority of people are living in a kind of trance, repeating programs they never consciously chose, pursuing goals that were implanted in them, believing narratives that serve agendas they don't even know exist. How many of these describe you? 5, 6, all of them? If you're nodding as you read this, if you're feeling seen in a way you rarely feel seen, if you're thinking, how does this person know me? It's because I'm describing the markers, the signs, the characteristics of awakened consciousness. You're not broken. You're not crazy. You're not alone. You're awakened. And there are millions of us. What awakening actually means, let me clarify something important. Because the word awakened gets thrown around carelessly these days. Everyone who reads a spiritual book or meditates once thinks they're awakened. But true awakening is something entirely different. Awakening is not about acquiring knowledge. It's not about reading books, watching videos, collecting information, or being able to speak spiritual language. You can know everything about spirituality and still be completely asleep. Awakening is a shift in consciousness. It's a fundamental change in how you perceive reality. It's a transformation in the operating system of your awareness. Think of it like this. Most people experience life from inside a dream. They're completely identified with their thoughts, their emotions, their life circumstances, their roles, their stories. They think they are these things. I am my thoughts. I am my feelings. I am my job, my relationships, my past, my problems. Awakening is the moment you realize you're not inside the dream. You're the one dreaming. You're not your thoughts. You're the awareness observing thoughts. You're not your emotions. You're the presence experiencing emotions. You're not your story. You're the consciousness having a story. This shift changes everything. When you're identified with the dream, you're controlled by it. Your thoughts control you. Your emotions control you. Circumstances control you. You're reactive, defensive, fearful, constantly trying to protect your identity, constantly trying to maintain your image, constantly trying to control outcomes. When you're awakened to your true nature as consciousness itself, you gain a completely different relationship to life. You can observe your thoughts without being controlled by them. You can feel emotions without being consumed by them. You can experience circumstances without being defined by them. You realize you're not the wave, you're the ocean. The wave rises and falls, appears and disappears, but the ocean remains. Your circumstances, your roles, your experiences, these are the waves. But you, your essential nature, your true self, you are the ocean, eternal, infinite, unchanging. This is what awakening means. And if you're reading this and something in you is saying, yes, I've experienced glimpses of this, then you are on the path. You are awakening. You are remembering who you really are. Why you were chosen to awaken. Now, here's the question that probably haunts you. Why you? Why are you awakening while so many others remain asleep? Why do you see what others can't see? Why do you feel what others can't feel? Why do you question what others accept without thought? Is it random? Is it luck? Is it genetic? Is it circumstance? No, it's choice. But not a choice you made in this lifetime. A choice you made before this lifetime. Before you incarnated into this physical body, before you were born into this particular time and place, before you took on this human experience, you existed as pure consciousness. And from that state, you chose this mission. You chose to be one of the awakened ones during this critical time in human evolution. You knew the Earth was going through a massive transformation. You knew humanity was approaching a tipping point. You knew the old systems, the old paradigms, the old ways of being were going to crumble and collapse. And you knew that awakened consciousness would be needed to guide others through this transition, to hold higher frequencies, to anchor new possibilities, to show the way forward. So you volunteered. You said, I'll go. I'll incarnate during this time. I'll take on the challenge. I'll be one of the ones who awakens first so I can help others awaken. But you also knew it wouldn't be easy. You knew that awakening in a sleeping world is painful. You knew you'd feel isolated, misunderstood, different. You knew you'd go through intense challenges specifically designed to crack open your consciousness. You knew you'd face dark nights of the soul that would force you to question everything and strip away every false identity until only your true self remained. You knew all of this, and you chose it anyway. Because your commitment to this mission was stronger than your desire for an easy life. That's why you're different. That's why you've always felt like you don't belong. Because you don't belong to the old paradigm. You don't belong to the sleeping world. You belong to the new earth that's emerging. You belong to the elevated consciousness that's dawning. You belong to the future that's trying to be born through you. You were chosen because you chose yourself. And you chose yourself because your soul is strong enough, brave enough, and committed enough to handle this mission. The 3 levels of awakening. Awakening isn't a single event. It's not like you're asleep one moment and fully awaken the next. It's a process, a journey, an evolution that happens in stages. Let me describe the 3 main levels so you can identify where you are and what's coming next. Level 1, the awakening of questions. This is where most people start. Something happens that disrupts your accepted reality. Maybe it's a crisis, a death, a loss, an illness, a betrayal. Maybe it's a profound experience, a spiritual encounter, a mystical moment, an unexplainable event. Maybe it's just a gradual accumulation of observations that no longer fit the story you were told about how life works. Whatever triggers it, you start questioning everything. The beliefs you inherited, the values you adopted, the goals you've been pursuing, the identity you've constructed. Nothing feels certain anymore. Everything feels questionable. This phase is disorienting, confusing, sometimes terrifying, because you're deconstructing your entire worldview without yet having a new one to replace it. You're in the void, the in-between, the space where the old has died, but the new hasn't fully birthed yet. If you're in this phase, you probably feel lost. You might be experiencing what's called a spiritual emergency. Everything you thought was solid is revealing itself to be constructed. Every certainty is becoming a question mark. Know this. This is necessary. This is the demolition that precedes reconstruction. You can't build a new foundation while standing on the old one. The old has to crumble completely, As painful as this phase is, it's sacred work. You're being unmade so you can be remade. Level 2. The awakening of perception. Once you've questioned everything and released your attachment to old beliefs, something shifts. Your perception changes. You start seeing reality differently. You begin to notice things you never noticed before. Patterns, connections, synchronicities, signs. You start to perceive energy. You become aware of frequencies. You sense things beyond the 5 physical senses. You start having experiences that conventional reality says are impossible. Intuitive knowings, prophetic dreams, energetic sensations, moments where time seems to slow down or speed up, instances where you manifest things with unusual speed, encounters with what can only be described as other dimensions or higher intelligences. This phase is exhilarating but also isolating, because now you're perceiving a layer of reality that most people around you don't perceive. You try to share what you're experiencing, and people look at you like you're crazy. So you learn to stay quiet. You learn to keep your expanded awareness to yourself. You start seeking out others who perceive what you perceive, because you need validation that you're not losing your mind. If you're in this phase, you're discovering your gifts, your psychic abilities, your healing capacities, your creative powers. You're learning to work with energy, with intention, with consciousness itself. This is exciting work. This is where you start to realize you're far more powerful than you were taught. This is where you begin to step into your true nature as a creator being. Level 3. The awakening of embodiment. This is the deepest level. This is where awakening moves from concept to lived reality. This is where you stop having spiritual experiences and start being spiritual presence. At this level, awakening is no longer something you do. It's what you are. You don't need to try to be present. Presence is your natural state. You don't need to practice being loving. Love is what flows through you automatically. You don't need to remind yourself of spiritual truths. You embody them so completely that they're simply how you move through the world. This is where your mission fully activates. This is where you stop seeking and start serving. This is where you realize you didn't awaken for yourself. You awakened so you could be a frequency holder, a way shower, a lighthouse for others who are beginning their journey. At this level, you're no longer concerned with your own enlightenment. You're concerned with collective evolution. You're not trying to escape the world. You're here to transform it. You understand that your awakening is meant to ripple outward, affecting everyone and everything you encounter. If you're at this level, you've found your peace. Not because life is perfect or easy, but because you've found the unchanging center within yourself. You've discovered that no matter what's happening around you, there's a stillness, a presence, an awareness within you that remains untouched. And from that place, you serve, you create, you love, you give, not from obligation or sacrifice, but from overflow. Because that's what awakened consciousness does. It gives itself freely to the world. The responsibility of being awakened. Here's what nobody tells you about awakening. It comes with responsibility, great responsibility. The more conscious you become, the more responsible you are for your thoughts, your words, your actions, your energy. You can no longer blame others for your experience. You can no longer play victim to your circumstances. You can no longer pretend you don't have power. Because you do have power, immense power. As an awakened being, you're operating at a higher frequency than most people around you. That frequency affects everyone and everything in your field. Your thoughts carry more creative power. Your words carry more manifesting energy. Your presence carries more influential force. You can use this power consciously or unconsciously. You can use it to create or to destroy. You can use it to heal or to harm. You can use it to elevate others or to manipulate them. This is why awakening requires integrity. This is why consciousness demands ethical commitment. This is why with great awareness comes great responsibility. You must become impeccable with your word. You must become conscious of your thoughts. You must become aware of your intentions. You must align yourself with the highest good, not just your personal desires. Because you're not just living your life anymore. You're demonstrating a possibility. You're modeling a different way of being. People are watching you, consciously or unconsciously. They're feeling your energy. They're being affected by your frequency. Children sense it. Animals sense it. Plants sense it. Even people who are still asleep sense something different about you, even if they can't articulate what it is. You have become a tuning fork. And when you vibrate at your true frequency, you help others remember their true frequency. When you embody peace, you help others find their peace. When you live in love, you help others access their love. When you express your truth, you give others permission to express their truth. This is your responsibility. This is your role. This is why you awakened. Not to escape the world, not to transcend humanity, not to become special or superior, but to serve, to guide, to illuminate, to be a living demonstration that there's another way to be human, a more conscious way, a more loving way, a more powerful way. The loneliness of the awakened path, I need to be honest with you about something painful. The awakened path is often a lonely one. As you awaken, you naturally begin to outgrow certain relationships. People you used to resonate with no longer feel aligned. Conversations that used to engage you now feel empty. Activities that used to bring you joy now feel meaningless. This isn't because you've become judgmental or arrogant. It's because your frequency has changed. And when your frequency changes, your resonance changes. You literally vibrate differently than you used to. And the law of resonance means you attract and are attracted to different people, different experiences, different environments. Some friends will drift away naturally. Some will actively reject you. Some will feel threatened by your transformation and try to pull you back down. Family members might not understand you. Partners might not grow with you. Communities you once belonged to might no longer feel like home. This is one of the most difficult aspects of awakening. Because humans are social creatures. We're wired for connection. And when you're going through a profound transformation that those around you aren't going through, you can feel incredibly isolated. You'll have moments where you question yourself. Am I crazy? Am I making this all up? Am I just being difficult? Should I just go back to how I was? In those moments, remember this: you can't go back. You can't unsee what you've seen. You can't unknow what you know. You can't shrink back into a version of yourself that no longer fits. The loneliness is temporary. It's part of the transition. As you continue to rise in frequency, you will find your new tribe. You will connect with other awakened souls. You will discover communities of people who speak your language, who understand your experience, who resonate with your frequency. But you have to be willing to walk through the lonely period first. You have to be willing to stand in your truth even when no one around you reflects it back to you. You have to be willing to be different, to be misunderstood, to be alone for a season. This is part of the initiation. This is where your commitment is tested. This is where you discover whether you're truly dedicated to your awakening or whether you'll sacrifice your truth for comfort and belonging. The awakened ones who make it through, who stay true to their path despite the loneliness, Those are the ones who emerge as the leaders, the teachers, the way showers for the next wave of awakening souls. The signs you're ready for your next level. If you've read this far, if everything I've shared resonates with your experience, if you feel like this message was written specifically for you, then you're standing at a threshold. You're ready for your next level of awakening. Here are the signs that confirm you're ready. You're tired of half living. You're done with the in-between space. You're done with one foot in the old world and one foot in the new. You're done with trying to maintain relationships and situations that no longer serve you just because it's comfortable or familiar. You're ready to go all in. You're experiencing intense energy. Your body is buzzing. Your dreams are vivid. Your emotions are intense. Your intuition is screaming at you. Everything feels heightened, amplified, urgent. This is your system upgrading. This is your consciousness preparing for an expansion. Opportunities are appearing. Seemingly random doors are opening. People are showing up with exactly what you need. Resources are flowing toward you. The universe is clearly orchestrating something. This is the field responding to your readiness. You're being called to create or share something. There's something in you that wants to be expressed. A message, a gift, a creation, a teaching. You've been holding it back, questioning whether you're qualified, whether anyone cares, whether it matters. But the urge is getting stronger. This is your mission knocking. You feel urgency. There's a sense that time is running out, that you can't waste any more years, that you need to step up now. This isn't anxiety. This is your soul's timing. This is your inner knowing that this is your moment. If you recognize these signs in your life right now, then I want you to do something. I want you to make a declaration. I want you to speak it into existence. Write in the comments, I am ready for my next level. That statement is more powerful than you realize. It's a signal to the universe. It's a command to your subconscious. It's an activation code for your next evolution. When you declare readiness, the universe responds. Opportunities accelerate, synchronicities multiply, guidance becomes clearer, support shows up, but you have to declare it. You have to claim it. You have to say, yes, I'm ready, out loud. What happens when you fully awaken? Let me paint you a picture of what's possible. Let me show you what awaits you on the other side of this awakening process when you fully embody your true nature. You wake up every morning with a sense of purpose and peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. You know why you're here. You know what you're doing. You know it matters. You move through your day with a clarity and presence that others notice. You're not lost in thought. You're not consumed by worry. You're here, fully here, engaged with life exactly as it is. You make decisions easily because you're connected to your inner guidance. You don't need to overthink or analyze everything to death. You simply know. You feel the yes or no in your body. You trust it, and you're consistently proven right. You attract what you need effortlessly. The right people appear, the right opportunities show up, the right resources flow to you. Not because you're lucky, but because you're aligned. When you're vibrating at your true frequency, life supports you. You create with joy and ease. Whether it's art, business, relationships, or experiences, you're no longer struggling and forcing. You're flowing. You're allowing. You're co-creating with the universe itself. You experience deep, authentic connections. You've found your tribe. You're surrounded by people who see you, understand you, appreciate you. People who challenge you to grow. People who celebrate your expansion. People who are walking this path with you. You're making the impact you always knew you were meant to make. Your work matters. Your presence matters. Your existence makes a difference. You can see it. You can feel it. People tell you how you've changed their lives. You've found inner peace that's unshakable. Not because you've transcended all problems or challenges. You haven't. Life still brings difficulties. But you've found something within yourself that remains calm regardless of external chaos. You found the eye of the storm, and you live there. This is what's possible. This is what awaits you. This is what happens when you fully awaken to who you are and step completely into your purpose. It's not fantasy. It's not reserved for special people. It's your birthright. It's what you came here to experience and embody. The final truth. So let me leave you with this final truth. The most important thing I can tell you. You already are what you're seeking to become. You already are awakened consciousness. You already are infinite awareness. You already are love, wisdom, power, presence. You don't need to become anything. You don't need to achieve anything. You don't need to earn anything. You only need to remember. You only need to peel away the layers of conditioning, the false identities, the limiting beliefs that are obscuring your true nature. You only need to stop pretending to be small. Stop pretending to be limited. Stop pretending to be powerless. You are consciousness itself, having a human experience. You are the universe, experiencing itself through your particular perspective. You are divine intelligence, expressing itself through your unique form. This isn't spiritual bypassing. This isn't delusional thinking. This is the deepest truth of what you are. And the moment you truly know this, not just intellectually, but at the core of your being, everything changes. Your entire life transforms because you stop living from limitation and start living from infinity. You stop operating from fear and start operating from love. You stop seeking and start being. This is awakening. This is enlightenment. This is what you came here for. And if you understood this message, if it resonated with every fiber of your being, if you felt truth in these words, then you are already well on your way. You are awakened. You are ready. You are one of us. Welcome home. Now go fulfill your mission. The world is waiting for you.